It means a lot because I stressed that before the game. My players would vouch for that I told them that, some of these children might not ever have the opportunity to come back to a Razorback game. Some of them may or may not have the opportunity to attend college, and this is a big deal for some of those kids, if not all of them. So they needed to show up and show out. At one point, I've told my players before, at one point they all had a dream. They all dreamed of putting on a Division I jersey to play at the highest level, and they're getting to live their dream. And there was a bunch of kids in this arena that have a dream, and we had to represent for those young children.
And for Jenna in particular to have the game that she had, just such a spark for y'all off the bench. As a coach, what does that mean to you to see a player like her who's worked so hard to have a game like this get it?
I think the biggest thing for me is, the Jenna that I saw today is the Jenna that I've known, even from afar. And so for her to really come in here and show up and show out, especially for all of these kids in this area, because she's from Farmington, man, I couldn't be more proud of her. I think that what's ahead for her is really bright. The sky's the limit.
And just what did you see from your team defensively today?
Well, I was on them pretty hard, and they'll tell you that. We've been really honing in on executing the game plan, and I thought that, in the third quarter we slipped a little bit, but we really did lock it back up in the fourth, and just really focusing on our matchups, focusing on our defensive execution, sticking to our game plan and executing that. I thought we really did turn up the heat and turn up just us being a unit and being aggressive, and so I was extremely proud of their defensive performance.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. First of all, compared to this, if you've already addressed this the last game, forgive me, it's the first game I'm covering you guys this year. Compared to last year, ball movement, defensive intensity, rebounding, all the boxes were checked today. Just kind of talk about some of the things you wanted to get done, even on a stage where, obviously the competition level.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is playing 4 quarters. I mean, that's one thing. When we played against La Tech, we didn't play very well in the first quarter at all. So I told them we only played 3 quarters the other day. In order to continue to grow and be better and to be a great team, you got to play 4 entire quarters and limit your mistakes. We had quite a few turnovers in the first half of this game. We only ended up with 12. So we have some team goals. We want to have 12 or less turnovers. We want to hit 8 to 10 threes. We want to shoot 80% from the free throw line. So just a couple of those goals, and we met those today. So really just helping them hone in and focus. We had a tough preseason. They would vouch for that. I pushed them really hard in practice. Our practices aren't short, they're long. But in order to set the tone, to set the culture, and to create the standard in which we want to execute and we want this team to live and die by, then it has to happen, and it has to happen right now.
I thought rebounding was kind of expanding the rebound. The rebounding I thought was pretty well, considering it's only the second game of the season. Obviously, going into the SEC, that's one of the boxes you want to check. Just kind of expand on that a little bit.
We talk about it all the time. I mean, yeah, we're playing games right now that we're not in league play yet, but this is helping us prepare. And we talk about it in practice all the time, that's one of the biggest things in the SEC is, everyone can really rebound. And some of them, rely on those rebounds to score at a high level. And so we have to be extremely physical. And we knew that UAPB is going to come out and they're going to rebound. I mean, there were multiple possessions in that first game versus Memphis. They're getting 3, 4, 5 rebounds a possession. And we focused on that. We talked about it. We watched film on it. And so we made them aware, and my players came out and they answered the call.
Yeah, Jenna was just in here, and she was talking about just how much more confident she is in herself since the season has started. Is that something that you guys as a staff have emphasized with her, and how have you kind of gone about, I guess, making her more confident, if that makes sense?
I want all my players to be confident. That's one of my pillars is faith, family, and fearless, and that fearless comes with confidence. And so just really helping them instill that confidence back in them. There was a handful of them that had lost their confidence, and we're still working every day. It doesn't happen overnight, and one game's not going to fix every problem. But at the end of the day, really helping them be fearless. And it's not just about a game. It's also about their life. I want them to be fearless in life. They can't go out into this world and not be confident young women. And so instilling that in them and helping them for not just this moment, for their future is the most important thing. So I'm extremely proud. It's definitely something that we take heed to and we focus on a daily basis. I want her to shoot that shot. I told him when I got here, I've never benched a kid for shooting it, but I've benched a kid for not taking the shot.
And then Bonnie, obviously another good performance for her with the 12 points and 11 rebounds, 6 assists as well, just all-around performance. Just what has impressed you the most about her as a freshman since she's come onto campus?
Man, she's gritty. She's not scared to get up and guard. It doesn't matter who it is. She'll guard you, from inline to inline. And she really does try to force the issue. I think sometimes she gets so anxious and she's so ready to score that sometimes we just got to reel her back in. But she can score at all 3 levels. She can guard. She can rebound. Wherever the ball is, you're going to find Bonnie because she's hunting the ball. And she just, she's young. She's a true freshman. But, man, she got a bright future.
53 bench points, and then the players are in here post-game joking with each other. Just maybe how have you seen the chemistry kind of come to fruition, despite the fact that you've got players coming from where you were at Oral Roberts, some returners, and a real mix of personality?
I think I'm going to go back to my pillars. We try to run this like a family. I think that if you ask any of my players, even though some of them are just still getting to know me, they would say that I genuinely care about them. They know that I love them. I'm going to coach them hard, but I'm going to love them harder. And, I think the one thing that I love is, a couple of my players from ORU came with me because they wanted to continue to be coached by me, and I think that speaks volumes. The ones that chose to play, they want to be here. And I think wanting to be here is a huge thing. You want players who want to be all in, who want to be a part of something great, who have that buy-in, and that team chemistry comes with that. And I tell them all the time, the team that plays together and stays together will win together. And having that chemistry and having that team camaraderie will take us farther than a lot of things in life.
You've mentioned both times that you were up here that you coached the team hard in the huddle, and they mentioned that both the players mentioned that you set kind of these tangible goals. Do you use those in game, in the huddle, or is it more kind of when the game actually starts that it's more, just encouraging the players?
No, I still coach them. I'm going to make changes. We're going to adapt. But, I have to tell them the things that are going right, the things that are going wrong, the adjustments that we need to make. But at timeouts, I'll also give them some tangible goals, whether it's we've got to get a stop here. Hey, they're going to try to do this, so we have to execute this screen, this action that they're about to do. So, I always feel like my job is to coach them during the game just as hard as I do in practice or anywhere else because that's their moment to be, out in the bright lights. But at the same time, they gave me this job for a reason, and it's my job to continue to coach them hard and help them for 40 minutes.
Most made 3-pointers in a game for Arkansas in over 3 seasons. Just what do you think about the teams like this early in the year to be able to find open looks and knock them down?
I thought when we first started, we didn't share the ball as well as we needed to. But once we started shifting the basketball, if we went back and probably checked our percentages were extremely high, scoring at a high rate when we shared the ball and we shifted it from side to side. So getting that inside-out bucket or getting that transition 3, those are shots we work on a daily basis. So I think that's one reason we shot it well is because we're taking shots that we shoot in practice and that we get some repetition on, and so you're going to shoot those with more confidence.
And then, of course, there was just a whirlwind for you since March to just get here and establish. How does it feel now that you're, your first week of games into it, just to finally people getting to see your brand of basketball instead of just talk about it?
Well, hopefully that they can see that we put some action behind that word because, we said we were going to play fast. I told everyone we were going to play with energy and passion, and I think that we're really producing that, and I think it's going to continue. And, we still have a lot to work on, but we've come a long ways in a short amount of time, and we're not going to stop. And so I just hope that the crowd and the fans and, all of Fayetteville and all of Arkansas continue to get behind us and show up and show out. These ladies deserve it. They work hard every day, and they want to be Razorbacks.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.